Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so pleased I have another beautiful new style by Rene of Paris to show you. This is Davina in the gorgeous color Ruby Chocolate. And this is one of the new releases in the Orchid collection, and I can't wait to get a good look at all the details with you. First, I'd like to thank Shirley's Wig Shop for sending me this style so that I could review her for you. And also to remind you that Shirley has a private Facebook group called Shirley's Wig Shop Hair's Looking at You Kid. It's a wonderful group where you can exchange ideas and information, get to know other wig wearers, or just show off your beautiful styles, and we invite you to join us there. Also, if you haven't done so already, I wanted to remind you, please subscribe down below, like and comment, and we'll get started. So as you can see, Davina here is just a beautiful long bob style or lob style. I absolutely love this kind of a style. I just think it's so flattering for so many different face shapes, and you don't experience a lot of friction as you do with really long fibers. Of course, you'll want to work to maintain these heat-friendly synthetic fibers. And I'll leave a link in my description box to a video showing you how I like to maintain my heat-friendly synthetic fibers in case you'd like to watch that video. But absolutely just stunning. I think in terms of style, you have a subtle flip in the front here, and I think that's lovely. I don't think it's at all too extreme. You certainly could also straighten this more if you don't like any kind of flips, if you really want just a stick straight style. But I love these little flips and I would not want to change them. The other thing I do notice, even though this is mostly all one length, is you do have some shorter face framing layers. Let me see if I can pull one out. There you go. Not a lot, just a little, and it's long. But I think that's just flattering around the face and adds a little interest. And this way you can kind of style it and it creates a little swoop. So really pretty style. I absolutely love this. And I have to give props where props are due. Do you see that this is already styled away from the face a little bit? I have not styled her at all. And when I lean forward and back up, I mean, some of the fibers are falling forward and they always do, but you can see it's already staying out of my face quite a bit. So you might not even need to do much styling with this one. I would want to change this parting space, of course. We still have that zigzag part, and I do like to create some natural scalp appearance, and we'll certainly do that together. And then I'll see if I want to create a little more lift, maybe in the front, even though this is actually already really nice for this kind of a style, not to have fibers just falling completely in your face. But let's go ahead and look at all the details for this cap and style. So what we have here is an extended lace front, which is really wonderful. I love extended lace fronts. I have to kind of feel for where it is. I think it ends here. And of course, some of my dark bio hair is showing on this side. And then on this side, it ends about there. And really a wonderful lace front with a soft hairline, I think. It's not at all too dense. If you look really carefully, you might see a knot here or there. Of course, very few people should ever be that close to you to see that. It doesn't bother me. I would not want to pluck this. I think this hairline looks wonderful, just like that. And then we have a left mono part. And of course, as I said, we still have that zigzag. So we will change that part and see what kind of scalp appearance we can create. But I love those features. Let's go ahead and get a quick look at her from all sides out of the box. Here she is from the right and the back. And the left. Just a gorgeous classic lob style in this beautiful color, and I can't wait to look at all the details, especially outside for this beautiful color as well. But next, let's go ahead, we'll change the part line and steam it in place and see if we want to add a little more lift in the front, perhaps, I'm not sure. And then we'll go over the cap construction. I'll review some styling options for this beautiful style, and I think with this length, you have quite a few. Then we'll go outside and get a good look at this beautiful color in natural light. And lastly, we'll go over final thoughts. So I have my rat tail comb here. Let's go ahead and see what kind of part we can create with scalp appearance. And what I'm going to do first is just run it down sort of the center of the zigzag part and see if I like that. I can always play with it some more, but I usually like to try that first. So let's do that here. All right. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm seeing scalp appearance here. Here, I think, is where my bio hair is starting, and so I will want to place a little bit of scar tape under there to help create scalp appearance. I don't know if you might see this better than I can right now, but I absolutely want to work to create a little more scalp appearance than I'm seeing right now, and I'm sure that we'll be able to do that. So let me see. I think that's looking pretty good to me. I'm going to go ahead and clip this new part line in place, or the fibers in place, to keep this part exactly where I have it. And then we can certainly change it once I have her on the blockhead, but this way it won't revert right back to the zigzag when I do that. So let me put her on the blockhead and we'll start steaming. So she's on the blockhead and I played around with that part just a little bit more, and now I really like where it is, and you can see the blockhead through the part there, so that's creating a nice bit of scalp appearance, and I love that. And I'll place some scar tape under there before I put her back on. But I've clipped the fibers back, as you can see, to keep them exactly where I want them. And then we'll steam the part first, and then we'll steam the fibers away from the face to add a little bit of lift and also to redirect those fibers where we change the part. So I like to use the iSteam steamer. This is just a little handheld clothes steamer that I purchased on Amazon. I'll leave that in my description box. And I also have a full video on my channel all about how I like to steam style my traditional synthetic and heat-friendly synthetic styles. And again, this is heat-friendly. And I'll leave a link to that in my description box down below in case you'd like to watch that video as well. So let's go ahead and we'll get started. Be sure to direct the steam at the fibers, not at the delicate lace front or monofilament portions of the cap. Keep your steamer moving. Don't leave it in any one place for more than 3 seconds. I just stopped real quick because I want to show you something. I'm noticing that here by the part, this section is wanting to lay a little flat. It's not kind of lifting up. So I'm going to put on a pair of heat protectant gloves so that I can hold it in place and steam that little section up. So let me do that. I purchased these on Amazon, and I will leave this in my description box down below. All right, and of course you want to be careful not to get too close to your hand, even with a glove like this on. And so I tried to kind of have my hand a little further back so that it wouldn't make contact with that steam, but I think that's good now. Now I'm going to let these fibers cool completely so that this new style can set. I'll put her back on and we'll see if we like the results. The fibers are nice and cool to the touch now, so let's see if we like how this turned out. Absolutely, that's how I love it. Just a little lift. We still have the original style, these beautiful face framing pieces, and the fibers are just a little damp still, so it might still change a little bit as the fibers dry, but I really like this. I think this really just creates a natural appearance in the front and gives the front and the side a little bit of a lift. And then when I lean forward, let's do the test. Once, twice. You can see that's how much these fibers are wanting to fall forward now. So that works extremely well, and I love how that turned out. This is just such a pretty look. Next, we'll go ahead and we'll look at the cap construction. First, I'll remove the piece of silicone scar tape that I like to apply to the underside of the part to help create scalp appearance where otherwise my dark bio hair might show through that monofilament. I like to use the AWD Medical silicone scar sheets, and I purchased those on Amazon. I'll leave that in my description box down below for you. So as you can see, what we have here is a left mono part. And although you have a little bit of room to move that part around within this area, it is a dedicated left part. And then we have this really generous extended lace front. You can see that comes almost all the way to the end of the ear tab on both sides. So really a wonderful lace front, and I'm just a huge fan of extended lace fronts because they allow you to style the fibers away from the face and still have that appearance of hair growth all along the extended lace front. So really a wonderful, I mean, you might almost call this ear to ear. Typically, I would call anything where the lace goes around the ear tab an ear to ear lace front. But as you can see, very generous, and I just love that. Then you have soft ear tabs with metal stays, a standard nape, not an extended nape, and Velcro style adjusters. Now this cap fits me very comfortably. I have a 22-inch circumference head, and all my measurements are listed in the description box in case you'd like to compare your measurements to mine. This cap fits me very comfortably, and the open wefting here on the sides and in the back create a really nice and stretchy cap. And of course, I checked the style for permatease, and I will say there is minimal permatease. What I noticed is very interesting. Very often, you'll have permatease under this lace area around the monofilament. I found no permatease in this top area at all. And what that says to me is that Rene of Paris was intending to design a style that was kind of smooth to the head, not too much volume up on top. And then I think in the back, and maybe I can show you this on camera, I'm not sure, but you can see, I believe this is the last weft where there's no permatease. And then the next weft, I'm just not sure the camera is going to pick that up, but about from here down, you do have some permatease in this wefted area in the back and at the nape, but really it's minimal. I think it adds a little bit of volume, it hides wefts, and none at all to be found in the top. So you get a really nice and natural and sleek, lower density feel with this style, and I think the cap construction altogether is just done really well. So let's look at some styling options for this adorable lob style. I just love wearing her like this, or throughout the day, sometimes I like to wear ear tucks. So let's do a little half an ear tuck on this side. I think that's an adorable look and really keeps fibers out of your face, at least on the side that you have it tucked. I just think this is a really practical and pretty look. You can also do a full ear tuck on this side. I think it's not too bulky. And then if you do have a little bit of bio hair showing, I just would try to blend it with some root powder. I like to use the Color Wow root powder to blend my bio hair with the wig fibers if I'm going to be exposing any of my bio hair that's a different color. So that ear tuck works really well. Let's do a headband, because this also allows me to show you exactly what kind of coverage I'm getting from the cap. And you can see also cute little look, easy to do, easy to remove. All right, let's look at this lace front again. So if I feel for it, really, I guess it is all the way to here. And I just think that looks really natural with all the fibers pulled away from the face. You can see that it's a soft hairline. The knotting is done really well. And here's that parting space now that we changed the part and have some silicone scar tape under there. And in terms of coverage, I'm going to run my fingers along the edge. So this is the bottom of the ear tab. And again, I have a 22-inch circumference and a fairly low hairline, so some of my bio hair is always showing. But this will give you an idea of what kind of coverage I'm getting, and it's a nice amount of coverage. It absolutely works well for me. So just adorable and easy to do. Then lastly, I often like to test a ponytail if the fibers are long enough, because I just think that's a wonderful way to wear your styles throughout the summer, or just on particularly hot days if you're going to be outside. So let's do that. And my bio hair is tucked under for this, just so you know. So I'm going to just pull the fibers back and see what kind of a ponytail we can create. So I wrapped the hair tie around 3 times, and I would say this style, I probably would call this light to medium density. We do have some of those shorter pieces. All right, now you can see those longer face framing layers. I always say, is it shorter? Is it longer? It's shorter than the rest of the fibers, but they're fairly long face framing pieces, as you can see. And that's cute. I mean, you certainly can leave that out. I would just do it on one side if you wanted to, or tuck it behind your ear very easily as well. Because as I said, they're not too short, but I don't know, I think I kind of like it out. I think that softens the ponytail look just a little bit. All right, let's hope this turned out. Let's go ahead and get a quick look from all sides. Here she is from the right and the back and the left. So absolutely quite a bit of versatility for this lob style. I just love it. Next, let's go outside and get a good look at this beautiful new shade by Rene of Paris in Natural Light. Ruby chocolate here is just an absolutely striking, beautiful new color by Rene of Paris. So because it's a brand new color, let me go ahead and I'll read you the full description from the Rene of Paris website for this color. It is described as a rich and sophisticated hair color that combines chocolate brown with deep ruby red undertones. The result is a stunning shade with depth and richness that exudes class and elegance. The color is sure to make a statement and enhance your overall look with its luxurious and bold appearance. So a lovely description, and I do think it's striking, stunning, bold, however you want to describe it. But I personally am not seeing a lot of the ruby red undertones. I am learning about wig colors, and so I'm not an expert by any means, but what I'm seeing a lot of is copper. And maybe that's the light here, but I felt like inside I would describe it the same way. So definitely kind of a auburn shade, you know, a little bit of brunette and a little bit of red in there, and absolutely more sort of a light auburn coppery shade than a deep ruby red. You know, I think of red burgundy wine, you know, a really deep red, and that I'm not seeing here. So even though they say they're low lights, so I guess they wouldn't be that obvious, but I'll let you be the judge, and this is why I like to show the colors indoor and outdoors so that you can really get a good feel for what this color will look like under different lighting. So let's go ahead and look at the details, but first, actually, let me show you something. I did notice, even though this is not described as a rooted color, there does seem to be a gradual shading sort of from, you know, the parting from the root area to the tips of the style. Because if you take these tips and you place them on top of where the part is, I hope you can see this out here. I definitely think the tips are lighter than the top. So I think it just looks like a natural human hair color that has gradually been lightened by the sun so that at the tips, you know, you have this lighter shade, slight, subtle. It's not at all extreme. And then at the front hairline, and maybe we'll go ahead and look at the details. At first, I thought there was no lighter shading in the front, no lighter fibers, you know, in the front. But now if I look closely, I do see that you have some of those highlights or the base color and the rest are low lights, you know, in the front. And regardless of how it's done, this front hairline just looks really natural. I hope you can see that. Very delicate knotting and not too dense. Beautifully done. And the parting space. And this is where I think the darkest color is. And of course at the nape, or if you part her, you know, differently, you can see it's a little darker. Of course, this is a mono part, as we said, but natural parting space. And let's go ahead and get a good look at this color. And hopefully you'll see that the tips all around are just a touch lighter than they are, than the color is on top. So let's look at her from the right. And the back. And the left. So I absolutely am a fan of auburn colors. I find that if a color is too strikingly orange, to me that feels a little bit more like a fashion color. But this, I think, is absolutely natural looking, especially with this gradual shading where it gets lighter towards the tips. And just the balance between the brunette and the red, I think, is beautifully done, subtle, very natural looking, and I think it does look sophisticated and elegant with this long bob style. Next, we'll go back inside and go over final thoughts. Davina here is just an absolutely gorgeous, sleek, sophisticated looking lob style. I absolutely love this kind of a style. I think you have really a natural density, it's really nice and flat to the head, and then you do have some volume though throughout that just make this a really gorgeous and healthy looking head of hair. And I think the style with the subtle flips and the little bit of face framing pieces that you have create a stunning style. Could be great for the office, going out, just staying at home. I would probably tuck it like this. And in fact, I have to tell you, I really don't want to take this one off. I love the features. I love that very generous extended lace front that runs from about here to here, the beautiful hairline, the wonderful natural looking parting space. And again, that's a mono part, not a mono top. So I think it just works really well, and these heat-friendly synthetic fibers feel wonderful. They will, of course, require a little bit of maintenance as you wear the style and experience some friction. And again, I'll have that link to my video in the description box for how I like to maintain my heat-friendly synthetic fibers. So absolutely beautiful. I also love this color. This ruby chocolate is just a stunning auburn shade, I would say, brunette and red. Very natural looking, subtle, really not extreme. It does not scream orange if that's something you're afraid of. I think it is absolutely very warm, of course, and just a lot of fun. Just absolutely fun to try different colors, and this one is just so pretty. So overall, love the style, love the color. I wanted to remind you that you can purchase Davina from Shirley's Wig Shop, and I'll leave a direct link to it in my description box down below. Also, I wanted to thank you for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.